talking about, and I think it's a relevant one, and that is best time to buy a house. When is the best time to buy a house? And this whole thing about like now, like what's going on with the market? Do you wait to the craziness? Do you jump in now because you don't know what's going to happen? When is the best time to buy a house? Oh, there. Thanks, folks. Thanks, Spence. Dylan quoted you on your "Don't Time the Market." What do you tell people who say, "Look, is now the right time"? It's kind of crazy. For example, it was Alex. Alex said, "Hey, Alex Martin said, hey, hold off. Don't do it now. I'm not ready." Scott, what do you say?
Yeah, so I'm in the market. I got three things normally that I tell people for when you should buy a house. One is, do you have a stable job? Two, are you willing to put down roots or ready to put down roots? Because it's an investment into a place, a long-term investment into a place that you want to be. And three, three is like, are you ready to start building a financial foundation? Because that's what it is, the forced savings account. I kind of reference this because, and it's at streams. I talk in it streams a lot of time. I'm in the market right now. I'm not dissuaded. I'm not trying to time it. Everybody buys on a mortgage payment, so I'm just going to set the next property that I buy based on where I need that mortgage payment to be in a comfortable way. And if I have some emergencies, I have a backup plan on. It's not a big deal. If my client I had a client in Waipahu, I couldn't find her information in the county tax records she bought so long ago. It was like 50 years ago. And I said, Auntie, and we sold it for $550,000. I said, Auntie, how long ago did you buy this? She's 50 years ago. I said, how much you pay for this? She said, $20,000. I said, Jesus, man, I wish I could buy 1 million of those, right? Did you put down a down payment? I did. We scraped up every dime we could get to put 20% down so we could get the mortgage. Okay, doing the math, what, $4,000, right? How was it making the payments? Oh, we struggled every month for the first 2 to 3 years, and then we were comfortable after that. Okay, well, imagine if she paid 10% more at that time, what, $22,000? Do you think that $2,000 in today's market when we sold it at $550,000, if she hadn't have done it at that time, what did that do for her, right? She also set her mortgage payment, which was less than $100 a month into 50 years ago cost of living, and it never went up. And she made more money over time. So I don't time the market. It's everybody needs housing just like they need, water and food, right? So either you're paying someone else's, the sooner you can get into a house and you can set it, then you're building that financial foundation. It's the longevity. The only people that don't, that lose money in real estate are the ones that sell too soon, right? Now there's some other things that you can do. It's, demographic based and whatnot, but that's the general rule of thumb. I don't try to time the market.
Scott, what I really like what you brought is you brought a very different perspective, which is you didn't say one thing about the market or the price or the whatever. What you did was, it's interesting to me, is you timed it in terms of, are you at the life stage where you're ready to make a purchase? Like you said, are you ready to settle down roots? Do you have a job that gives you the finances? Are you ready to kind of start to build a financial future? You put those questions in place. It wasn't about the price, which was interesting. I like that.
Well, that's the first part. Once you get past that, then analytical Scotty comes in, and we can start looking at what the strategy is for maximizing and getting you where you want to go.
Right. Let me pull out the spreadsheet.
I'm in the asset acquisition phase of my life at this point. If I had 20 million in real estate right now, free and clear, that gives me freedom of choice. If I don't have that, which I can't retire. I need to acquire more assets. What am I waiting for? I already have run the analysis 1 million times on if I buy now versus waiting. It's way more beneficial for me from all the components that I get from real estate of doing it now versus waiting. I'm trying to acquire as fast as I can.
That's it. Buy yesterday. Plant the tree yesterday, like Dylan says. And Pam, I hope you appreciate this. I know you appreciate this as much as I do. A big mahalo, mahalo Dylan, mahalo Scott for this. And a quick shout out here to Sung Ye, who says, "Aloha, en route to Honolulu for the first time. Awesome. Day trip. Awesome. Be there by 7 p.m. today. Awesome. Good for you." Heidi, how do you respond? Crazy. I can't. Maybe I should wait. What's your response, Dylan?
It's the same rule applies to planting trees, right? Yesterday was the best time to plant a tree, and yesterday was the best time to buy a house. So, Scott always says, you can't time the market, right? People who think they can speculate and time the market usually are kidding themselves, or they're wrong. And, as difficult as it is for buyers right now, one of the things that brings me pleasure on a daily basis is to email or text one of my clients that bought a house last year. There was just a house that came on the market yesterday that was next to a home that actually one of the Aloha people bought, and they got it for $699, and the house next door is now on the market for $799, like 5 months later. And so they're feeling like geniuses, right? That was a pretty good idea, but they had the faith, in late last year when people were saying, well, how everything's going to crash. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to wait. And they just had the faith. They moved forward and they made a great decision. No one could have guaranteed it at the time, but yeah, I don't think it's going to get any better. I mean, everybody who's under contract right now, even just a couple of weeks go by and they're so grateful to be under contract that they actually got something and didn't get beat out, because they're looking around and seeing that all this is just getting worse and worse and worse week by week. So even if they're not closed, they're feeling great because at least they have something and they're going to be able to close. So
it was like
yesterday.
Yeah. And here's a quick question and response. Jim and Kath. Hey, Aloha, are you guys seeing a lot of cash deals? Yes, a lot of cash deals. Scott, what's your response? What would you add in to what the guys have said so far as best time to buy a house? How do you respond to that, especially now?
Well, I mean, do you need a place to live? I think when you're buying for your primary residence, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like when you can afford it, when you can comfortably afford it, when you're ready to take on the responsibility of homeownership, I mean, it's really to your benefit. Your asset the market would have to severely tank for you to lose money, and then you'd have to sell it, at a bad time in the market. I mean, for the most part, you're going to need a place to live anyway. I see a lot of people renting here on Maui, and I know that that's a great way to get started and perhaps make the initial move. And that's what I did when I first moved. But I am so, so thankful every day that I purchased a home, because one of the challenging things about renting is you don't control it. And I had to move about 3 times when it wasn't my choice when I was a renter. And that's very disruptive to your life. And it's expensive to keep moving too. I mean, it brings such peace of mind to own my own home and knowing that I'm paying this money every month and it's going towards an asset that I own and it's going back to me versus just going to my landlord who might decide to sell the property next month and kick me out. So. Yeah,
well said. Actually, Heidi, when you mentioned, because you and I have a lot of parallels. We both came from Illinois. You moved to Hawaii. You moved to Maui. I moved to Oahu. And Scott, I was thinking about your auntie story. Look, I'll give you my auntie story, and it's me. I bought my first condo. I believe it was like 89, something like that. 88, 89. I paid $64,000 for my condo in Hawaii. $64,000. Now it was not. It was in a quote unquote substandard neighborhood. It wasn't a killer place, but I loved it. And I didn't buy. I bought on. I know I need to do this, so I'm going to do it. I didn't buy on on market kind of timing. In fact, the time I bought was right after the Japanese bubble. There was a Japanese bubble in Hawaii. The Japanese bubble was in. I think it was in full force and was like a quote unquote the wrong time to buy timing wise, but it didn't matter to me. And it was the best thing that I ever did. So there's your auntie story right there.
2 more quick questions you got to ask yourself, right? Is 1, do you think prices will go down in the future? And 2, do you think interest rates will be better in the future? Right. So if you're waiting, those are 2 really important aspects, because even if we only have 3 to 5% appreciation over a couple of years and interest rates go up, and I think we talked about this in the last show, 1%, 1.5%. You can run the numbers and what does the cost of that piece of property cost you over 30 years versus if you buy it today, maybe for more than you want to pay. If you pay $20,000 more than you wanted to now, that's $20,000. What is it? What if it costs you $80,000 to $100,000 over the course of paying more in interest and for the appreciation when you actually do buy? So there's some financial decisions too. If you're looking at numbers, you can easily make that calculation and figure out what does it actually cost you 2 or 3 years from now based on those projections versus now. So
yeah, and again, and that's all true, and that's like the spreadsheet phase. But I really like kind of Scott's like, is it? Are you at that time in your life, like you, Dylan? You bought the house not on numbers. You bought the house because you were planning on building a family. You and your wife to be were like, okay, we got to get a house for our family and for our future. And that's kind of.
We just did that. We bought the house like we always wanted to be in during COVID in April, like after the world shut down. And it was like, we kind of thought about like, is this a good idea? Like taking on a second mortgage and, upgrading at this time. But it was like, this is where we wanted to be. This is the house we wanted to be in, the piece of property we wanted to be in. And we said, we're just going to do it and figure it out. Right. And then it worked out. So
it worked out great. Yeah, it worked out great. So we have a couple of comments here before we wrap it up.